Hey, welcome everybody. It is Jamie, and it is time for day 6 of the Create Bootcamp. Today is going to be all about the importance of an evening routine and actually about being intentional with an evening routine. So I'm going to give you something easy to remember the parts of an intentional evening routine. And if you know me, you know how much I like acronyms. So you'll probably see an acronym because that's going to be an easy way to remember. I was a couple of minutes late because I have some visuals to show you today. I have some notes that I was printing out today. And so I was a little bit late today. So I'm a few minutes late. So hey there, Tony. I see Tony popping on there. It is afternoon for me, Tony. It is 1 o'clock here in Ohio. It is just past noon for you. I always forget all the time zones that everybody's in. There's Adrian popping on. Yes, I was about 5 minutes late for my morning video at 10:30, and I was a few minutes late for this one. So that's why you had a problem finding me. I was trying to set up a text message to go out. That wasn't working. So just a couple minutes later than the 1 o'clock. But I am going to talk all about evening routine. So I want to know in the comments, how many of the days of the boot camp have you watched? We talked about day 1, the community, and I had a little challenge that day for you to start adding to new connections that you make. Day 2 was all about rest. So let me know if you watched day 2, all about rest and how important it is to take breaks. We talked and about I gave some different things on day 2 for rest. Day 3 was all about energy, and I gave a fun little challenge that day. Day 4 was all about your AM routine, and that one was a very popular one. Lots of resources I gave in that one, lots of ideas, why you want to have a morning routine. So that one was AM routine. Friday probably was where a lot of people were writing things down, writing some quotes that I had, really thinking about the idea of being perfect. And that was what we talked about with thoughts. So today is evening routine. Hey there, I see Donna says 2 of the days. Adrian says all of them. Tony's like all of them. So today is day 6. I've also had some success story interviews with people. And I had one, I believe, every day except for Friday last week. And then I had my friend Cheryl on Saturday. I do have one at 4 o'clock today, which is my friend Debbie. I have not seen her on here. So there are a couple going to be sprinkled out throughout the week. And hearing all of those success stories about something I'm going to tell you more about at the end of the video today. So I gave a challenge on Friday, and it was to put on your personal profile with the hashtag create616 and put a post about something that you learned throughout the boot camp, throughout the different days that we had up to that point. And I had committed that I was going to do that challenge. And I did not make a post with the 616. So Adrian said that she did hers this morning. I did see yours, Adrian. I believe that it was in black and white. So I'm going to take a quick drink here. I did not mention on day 3 energy, I don't think, but I talked about my yellow drink. This is my energy drink. And last night and the night before, I did not sleep very well. So I have a little bit of pick-me-up energy drink there. So yes, Adrian did say that it was in black and white. Well, sometimes I believe that it was on day 3. I couldn't find a lot of it was day 4 that I talked about. It was the day 3 challenge, I believe. The posts weren't coming up because of the hashtag. So I don't know if that was the thing that was happening today, but the prize that I had said that I would give to 5 people was the Story Brand book by Donald Miller, something that I've used in my business. I've watched different things that he's done and talked about how important stories are when you're sharing things. I would much rather hear a story than facts and just, I want to hear the relational part of things rather than I'm not really a facts person. So when I went to go search for the hashtag 616, create 616, I found one, and it was Adrian's. So Adrian, I want you to congratulate Adrian because not only did she say up above that she has watched all of the bootcamp videos, she's probably watched all of the success stories. She's completed all of the challenges because Adrian is playing like all in. Like she made the decision she was just going to be all in on this bootcamp. And I'm telling you what, somebody who is playing all in like that will see differences. They will see changes. If you make the decision to play all in like that, I'm just telling you, I've seen it over and over again that kind of mentality of being all in trumps a lot of other things. Trumps talent, trumps even knowing all of the things. Like having that kind of attitude. So congratulate Adrian because I'm going to be sending her the Donald Miller Story Brand book. And if I go in and search for that hashtag and see that somebody completed that and maybe I just wasn't finding it before I came on the video, then I might have to send out some more. So I'm going to tell you about evening routine today. I have a question for you. And you may want to get out something to write with because that was the visual that I'm going to show to you was the Tony, I thought that you might comment. She says, that all in moved me forward big. I like that. Moved you forward big. So, oh, you're welcome, Adrian. I think you're going to love the book. So we can talk about it once you get it and talk about stories and things like that. So I think that that's going to be awesome. So let me ask you a question about evening routine. How much sleep is enough for you? I would like to know in the comments how much sleep is enough for you. Like I mentioned before that I haven't been sleeping very well, and that's why I have the energy drink here. Do you have trouble falling asleep? Do you have trouble staying asleep? Do you, wake up too early and you don't feel like you get enough sleep? I would just like to know in the comments there, how much sleep do you think is enough for you? Because Tony says 7 hours. I think that that's pretty typical there. Adrian says, I wish I could sleep. Not very well lately. I'm right there with you. So 7 hours, I kind of see. And I would say that that's probably, and the reason that I asked it that way is how much is right for you. You have to know how much it is for you. And there's no judging if you need 10, if you need 7, but be honest and, figure out how much it is that you need to feel rested, to feel productive, to feel like you can think clearly and all of that. How much do you feel like you need? I looked up this little statistic and I wanted to tell you it was the National Institutes of Health. National Institutes of Health. It says that 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. And, I think that is dependent on however much they need. Donna says she sleeps like a rock for 8 or 9 hours. That is awesome. Adrian's like, how do you do that? Maybe some of the things that I'm going to talk about during the evening routine will help with that. But this statistic said 1 out of 3 don't get enough sleep, which means that about 40%, it says, of us, and I'm going to include me, fall asleep during the day at least 1 time per month. So, Noreen, that is definitely one of them. Too much stimulation. So we're going to go through something that I want you to write down. So get out a piece of paper, pen, and just, write it down. Or if you keep a notebook or, whatever it is to be able to write it down. But we talked a little bit about rest and taking breaks and things on day 2. And we talked about your brain and your thoughts on day 5 and how you can train your brain to work for you. And in this case, train your brain to work for you to be able to teach it about routines and an evening, routine and things like that, because this evening routine, this practice, one of the 6 practices that we've been talking about, if you can get evening routine and you can really develop the habits and the routines to make that be effective, it can supercharge all of the rest of them. It can help you to show up better in your community. And we talk more about that and create what those communities are. It will help you with being more productive during the day so that you do feel rested, that you take breaks, that it sets you up for that. It will help you with your energy because you will feel more rested because you've set up this evening routine. Your AM routine, I'm telling you, will be the most productive AM routine that you will have because of the evening routine. So the morning routine, the AM routine starts with the evening routine, really. And then it will help you with your thoughts to think clearer, to be more productive, to have goals and be able to work towards them. So the evening routine, it's last, but I would say if you can get this down, it can be one of the most productive things that you do. And I want you to think about, tell me if you would agree with this, that we are, as they say, creatures of habit. Creatures of habit, and I'm going to add, and routines. We're just creatures. We like our routines. We like our habits, and they become very habitual, right? They become things that we do. And we can stack habits together, and we can have things that are predictable, these habits. I want you to think about, hey there, Sarah. Oh, hey there, Susie. I see you too. Oh, Ida says she gets like 4 to 5. I sometimes get like 4.5 hours there too. So, yes. So I want to ask you if you remember what your bedtime routine was when you were a kid. What was that routine that you had? I know when my kids were little, we had a routine about 8 o'clock. That was bath time, right? That was every night, like bath time. And then there was the routine that kind of we go through with that. And there was the routine of, putting on the clean pajamas, and then we would read a book, and, we do the hugs and the kisses, and then we, on the forehead, or we turn out the nightlight. There's a routine to that. When they were super young, they had to have their stuffed animals. What was the one? My oldest son had the yellow thing from the Teletubbies. I don't even remember what the name of it was. And he wanted to have that yellow Teletubby stuffed, animal. So there's these routines, there's these habits, and kids especially love that structure. I heard a quote by somebody that said, the more structure you have in the business, the more freedom you have. And I love that because it's true. So that structure, that bedtime routine, we had that and we looked forward to that and we liked that structure. And those things that we did actually set us up to have better rest, to have more rest so that we woke up in the morning rested. So Sarah says her routine was their dad worked for the railroad. Oh, I didn't know that, Sarah. 6 a.m. coffee grinding started her whole morning. Made me a 5 a.m. water as an adult. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so the nightly routine, and I know that is one for some people to set up that, that coffee and get things done in the evening before the morning. That's why I said the evening routine is so important to have a more productive day. So you don't just feel like you're just, headed into the day. You actually have it set up and you've taken care of some things the night before. So here is what I want you to write down. Here's the visual that I got because it always helps me to be able to see. It's an acronym, and it's an acronym that you will remember because the area of sleep that one part of sleeping is REM, right? REM, rapid eye movement, I think it's called. So I kind of took that acronym and I want you to write down REM SSS. So was that REMS, right? Like it's multiple S's there. So REMSSS. So tell me in the comments when you have that written down. I'm going to take a time. So REMSSS. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you what those letters of that acronym stand for and explain why you want to have these 6 different things. There are 6 different things that you have in place. Now, I want to tell you that when you have your evening routine, it should start about 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how long you spend on each one of these, before you're ready to go to sleep. So if you know, I asked you before, how many hours, let's just say 7 hours, really that's about my optimum time if I can get 7 hours sleep, and you know that you want to wake up at, say, 6 a.m., you would count backwards to 11. So 7 hours, and you would want your evening routine to start at least 30 minutes, but more like 2 hours. So for me, then, my evening routine should start about 9 p.m., give or take. 9 p.m., then I've got 11 p.m., and then 6. Now that's optimum. That doesn't happen very often, but the more that I practice having an evening routine, the better that is. The more that I can stick to that, and the more productive that I am during the day. And I will add, the more creative. If you can figure out and master and use these 6 different practices that I've been talking about, all 6 of them will help you in some way to be more creative. So Adrienne says that she's done. Sarah says that, a 5 a.m. riser. I figured that that's what you meant. A 5 a.m. water I had never heard of before. So Adrienne says that she's done. She has her REMs written down there, and then I'm going to tell you what those 6 different things stand for. The first one is to read. And that does not mean reading on the TV. That does not mean reading a magazine. It does not mean even reading what I like to read, and what's on my bookshelf a lot there are more like personal development type things. This is reading for pleasure, to relax, to just, instead of watching mindless TV, that you read something that is relaxing. So, yeah, no captions. Yeah, you can't do this. Yeah, like the closed captioning on the TV. Yeah, so reading, I like to try to read for 10 minutes in the day, but sometimes I'll move that to the evening and I'll read in the evening. And tell me if you have like a good book that you're reading, because I am not really very good at this in the evening about reading for pleasure. I will still a lot of times read my personal development books. So tell me if you have some good, just fictional books that you're reading, because I would love to have a list in here. 2 books in 1 week. Well, I'm a reader like that too. If I find a good book, and I will tell you an author that I really liked, and one time read a lot of her books kind of all the way through. I can sit down and just read all the way through a book too. If I'm in and end up staying up later and losing sleep over it because I'm so involved in reading. So Sarah says personal development is relaxing. Well, thank you, Sarah, because that's what I tend to read. She says, I can't sit to read. I fall asleep immediately. So see, there is something about reading that sets you up to be able to sleep. Edith said that she's reading The Midnight Library. Oh, I've never even heard of that. Oh, I would not be able to do that and read murder mystery books and then go to sleep. I would not. I would not be able to do that. One of the authors that I read back in 2003, probably, I had went to a women's conference, and there was this author there, and all these people were standing in line to have her sign their books. And I didn't even know who it was. And she was so engaging in her conversations that when she spoke, and she was talking about the characters in her book as if they were like real people. And so I looked her up as soon as I came back, and ended up, she had a whole series of books of these characters that people were talking about as if they were real family people, people that they knew. And I ended up reading, I think 13 books during that winter of hers, just like right in a row. And it was Karen Kingsbury, like Bury. So she's a Christian author, and I really liked her stories. There is a character in there named Ashley who is an artist. So I did really love that. And I also read those books and felt like I knew those characters so well. And now since then, 20 years later, she has all kinds of other books. And I think there's a TV series or something, like there, all kinds of stuff. So now she's got grandkids and all of this. So anyway, back to reading. So reading is the first thing to do. And that is then training your brain to know, hey, we're reading. That means it's that routine that we're setting up to get ready for bed. So that is the very first thing. The next thing is something that Noreen mentioned is electronics off. So the E is electronics off. And you should do that about 30 minutes to 2 hours before you're ready, before the time that you've, kind of backtracked to figure out that you need to go to sleep. So your electronics, screens, TV, all of that should be off, because that blue light that comes from the screens signals your brain to stay awake. So if you're trying to be better at sleeping, it sounds like several of you don't sleep very well. If you're trying to be better, then you want to tell your brain, we are getting ready to sleep. And by reading and then shutting off all the electronics, that's that routine that you're stacking together, that you're stringing along to help tell your brain, train your brain to be able to sleep better. So all of these things are things that you can start tonight so that you can sleep better tonight, so that you can have a better AM routine, so that, all of these 6 different things that we're talking about. So the M can stand for music. It could stand for meditate. It basically is a way of still having your screens off, and another thing that you can do to be able to just train your brain to say, we're getting ready to go to bed. We're getting ready to go to sleep. So, hey there, Cheryl. Yes, Cheryl has talked several times about that the evening routine is something, the practice that she still needs to work on. Cheryl is a Create alumni, and I would love anybody else who is on here to put the hashtag Create alumni if they have taken the Create course before, just so you can kind of see who those people are. So you could play music, you could meditate, or, pray. Some people call that. So I kept it the M, so it would be easy to remember. The Cheryl, you may remember the REMSSS. So, I see Jenny on here popping on. So, a white noise machine. That is awesome. My husband has some white noise. There, it keeps going up. Has a white noise machine in the ocean. That is perfect. So, yeah, I see several people. The E, Tony, is electronics off. I didn't write them out beside there. So read, electronics off, and then meditate, music, pray, something that's another thing that is signaling your brain to be able to kind of shut down. And then the 3 S's. The first one, you may not be able to do this, but sometimes, just like when you were a kid, if you have a snack, that kind of signals your brain to, to kind of start calming down, right? As a kid, was there anything that you had as a snack? Did you have like a glass of milk? Some people I know do warm milk. I don't do warm milk. So, but maybe there's, maybe, and it should be a healthy snack, like just like a little cheese stick, a little bit of yogurt, a little bit of fruit, like just minimal, like not chips and salsa. Don't do that before you go to bed, but some kind of a little snack. I know when I have been trying to eat better, one of the things that I saved as a treat was my protein shake kind of made into almost like an ice cream. And then that was my, my snack in the evening. So the first S is a snack if that goes along with whatever you are trying to do as far as your being healthy and, all your eating plan and, all of that. And it's a long time. If you ate at 6 p.m. and then you don't wake up until 6 a.m., that's a 12-hour stretch of not eating. So having that just a little something sometimes, it really helps. The next thing is to stretch. I do this a lot of times in the morning as the exercise part of the morning routine, but doing the stretching in the evening, some light yoga, Pilates is the other, but just like some stretching. And it just, again, you're going to be in bed, not moving for a long time. So to do some of that stretching, it signals your brain. You don't want to do some aerobic activity, right? Something where it's getting your heart, but something where you're kind of stretching out your muscles. I've never done one of those foam rollers. Have you ever done one of those where if you have some tight areas, you can use that foam roller? I know a lot of people who use that. Just some light kind of stretching, just as another way to signal to your brain that you are getting ready, to go to sleep. And the last one is the same as it was in the morning routine when we talked about the savers, and it is to scribe or to journal. And that journaling is another way to not have on a device, right? And be able to just write down some things. And it helps you to get anything that's like in your brain that might be causing you to like just overthink things, to get that out. So REMSSS will help you to remember those 6 different things to do to help you to calm down, to help you to train your brain to know that now it's time to get ready to be able to sleep. So that is the 6 different foundational practices that we've gone over during the boot camp that you see above my head here. The C for community, the R for rest, the E for energy, the first E, the A for AM routine, the T for thoughts, and then the E for evening routine. And what I've used these 6 different practices that I've taught you over these, this Create Bootcamp. So yes, thank you, Cheryl. She wrote down the snack and the stretch and the scribe. So here's what I've found after a challenge like this. You basically have 3 different choices. You have 3 choices about what you're going to do. The first one is that you can say, thank you, Jamie. You can say, thanks for the information that you gave. And then you can do nothing with it. And what that does is it keeps you stuck. Whether that means stuck in your life, stuck in your business, it keeps you stuck from not moving forward. And we are wired to grow, to move forward. So that's the first option. And I will admit that sometimes I have done that with some different challenges with things. I even write things down and I don't use any of the information. And for whatever the reason was that I showed up to that challenge, I remained stuck in that area because I haven't applied any of it. The second one is that you can take something that you heard during these 6 different days and you can apply it by yourself, and you can you can try to make that work on your own. And I've tried that too. I've tried that before, and I've taken challenges, and a lot of times I still stay stuck because I'm trying to figure it out all by myself. When I was trying to learn how to do the potter's wheel, like how to use the potter's wheel, I had them in my classroom and I had read about them and I had tried to learn, and I even tried to practice on the potter's wheel, but I couldn't do it. The way that I was able to do it was option number 3. Option number 3 is you have heard these 6 different practices and now you want to know more. But you need someone like I did when I learned the potter's wheel to teach you, because what they had to teach me is about when things happened that were challenging, when I didn't center correctly, I needed to know how to course correct. I needed to know how to actually do it and fix the things that I had done when I was by myself and I didn't have anybody like showing me how to do it. So that's the third option. And that's what I actually did about 3.5 years ago. I had just started my business and I went through a challenge very much like this one. It was a free challenge and I showed up and I wrote things down and I did the work and I actually started a membership during that free workshop. And then I decided that I wasn't going to be able to figure that out by myself. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have what I needed. I did not have all of the things to be able to be successful at that. And so that's the third option, is to make the decision and know that you need someone, you need a community, you need resources, you need accountability, you need those things to be able to move forward. And the resources inside Create are what I have come up with in the course to be able to help you with all of that. So if you choose option 1 or option number 2 and you say thank you and you want to try to do it by yourself, then that is awesome. But I believe that if you're still here and you made it through all 6 days and you're still watching, that you want something more. You want to become someone different. You want something different than what you currently have. And I believe that that's why you're probably still watching and why you're still here. And a lot of my Create alumni, I saw Tony put that in there. And oh, I see Tracy popping on. Hey there, Tracy. A lot of my Create alumni are here because they've seen what option number 3 has done for them. So if you showed up to the boot camp because you want something different, because you know that you want to create that life that you love, and these 6 different practices sound like they might actually be something different than those courses that you've taken that are strategies, that are step-by-step techniques. Those are what come after. Those are what the gap that I saw that people needed to know how to train their brain and the thoughts that they had. They needed to have a morning routine because I had seen these things that I was using, and that's how I was able to have success. If you remember the success equation, I was able to have success and I was able to achieve things and have fulfillment. That's the success equation. I was kind of saying it backwards. I was able to achieve things, but because I had these 6 different things, I was able to feel fulfilled in where I was in my journey. And that was where I saw the gap, that a lot of people were stuck. They felt that they were just overwhelmed. They felt like they couldn't make a decision. They didn't know what decision. They didn't even know the options. And they just felt overwhelmed and they felt like they were just struggling. They felt like they were just kind of spinning their wheels. That was why I decided to create the course. And really, this course is the package of my 21 plus years of doing personal development, my 30 plus years of teaching, my 3.5 years of being an entrepreneur. And if you have already been an entrepreneur, you are in your business, I have had those 3.5 years to implement those things. And each time that I do this course, it is different and I add to it. And I do have some things that I'm adding this time too. So right now, I would like to go ahead and share with you what you will get inside of Create, what it's all about, what it means to practice these 6 different foundational practices, and what that could look like for you if you are feeling stuck. So if I have your permission, I'm going to go ahead and share with you, because you may be ready to create that life that you love. You may be ready to go forward. You may be ready for that option number 3. You may be able to create the life that you love, like I was able to do and experience back in May when I went on a trip that was all expenses paid, took my husband for our 10-year anniversary to Anna Maria Island, which was beautiful. We got to stay in the most amazing house with the most amazing artwork, with a pool, with all of just a beautiful area, a block from the beach. And I was able to do that with 13 other ladies who came to Anna Maria Island, and we had just the most amazing week. All of those ladies were ladies that took the Create course. And I just heard my dog barking. And they were able to go on that retreat because they went through the Create course. So let me go ahead and share. And I don't do this very often, so let me make sure I share the right screen. And I'm going to ask you, I think that this is the right one. Okay. Oh, there we go. I don't share the screen very often, so I wanted to make sure it worked. I wanted to, let me see if I can make that bigger there. Oh, there you go. So Shira says she's cheering everybody on that is choosing option number 3. Oh, that's awesome. So this, you may have seen this if you got the email that I sent out last night. I sent out an email this morning with details that you will see. And I will tell you that if you know me, this sales page that I have here, that's what they call this, right? With all of this information on here, is probably about the fanciest that you'll ever see from me. And it's pretty simple because in everything that I do, everything that I teach in my business, that's what I do is simple. And everything that I teach inside of Create, I do it in a very simple way. So this is about as fancy as you're going to see from me. So on the page here, you'll see that Create is a 6-week course to have you go from stuck in your head to confident in your core. And any of the Create alumni that are on here can tell me if after the end of the course, did you feel more confident? Did you actually feel confident in your core? I like that because it makes me think of like when you're trying to do anything where you're trying to balance and your core is inside of what helps you to be able to balance things. And I really liked that analogy to be able to, to balance everything. So Tony says, yes. Jamie says, I can't wait to be and Create with everybody. There are actually already 27 ladies who are inside of the community that's already forming. So it is already happening. And we start on the 26th, 1 week from today. So we will start the course 1 week from today. So this may be, and I mentioned before, what you've been missing from your business that really makes everything else easier. These 6 foundational practices are what makes it easier. This is what I help you to do inside of Create, is to go from being stuck to being confident in a very simple way, stuck to being confident. So here are the 6 different reasons that I kind of touched on during the boot camp that you might not be seeing success, that you might not be feeling the success that you want. It might be reason number 1, and you can tell me if any of these are you. You believe that you need to get more followers for success. Tell me if you believe that one, reason number 1. Or do you believe that you have to work harder to be successful? Do you have to work harder to be successful? Or do you believe number 3, that you can't do the tech needed to be successful? I'm going to stop at number 3 because I have a feeling some of you are going to be putting that one. Tony, I'll tell you at the end here, but there is a link right at the top of this video where you can sign up right now. And you actually have an email that you can go to. So yeah. So you believe that you can't do the tech needed to be successful? Or do you believe, number 4, that there's only one certain strategy to follow that leads to success? Is that the one that you believe? Or maybe you believe that perfection guarantees success. Or maybe the one that we talked about today, you believe that you don't have enough time to succeed. Tell me if any of those reasons might be why you feel like you're not getting the success that you want, or you have not created the life that you love. Because if you've answered any of those 6, then the 6 different foundational practices will help. Because that's what I teach you inside of Create, is those 6 different practices. And of course, it's an acronym, so it helps you to remember those things. Create is a live group coaching course. It's basically for creative business owners, although I have been told that anyone could benefit from it. And it's creative business owners who are ready to create a life that they love so that they can have a business that they love. When you enroll in Create, you're going to learn how to go from being stuck to being confident. And these are the 6 different practices that you're going to learn, and the 3 different lessons that go with each one of them. So with community, you're going to learn about the community that you own, the community that you do not own, and the one that you can call your own. With rest, you're going to learn about breaks and balance and bedtime. So we talked a little bit about bedtime today, but you will learn more and learn some other techniques and things inside of the course. With number 3, the practice number 3, and energy, you're going to learn about your audience, your artwork, and your announcements. With the practice number 4, which is your AM routine, you're going to learn AM routines about your personal routines, your professional routines, and then also your planning habits. This one, I'm going to supercharge this time for this round of Create with all kinds of resources that I have developed, that I have learned since the last Create course in the fall. So that one is going to be a lot of new things in there. Practice number 5 is about your thoughts, and you're going to learn about your thoughts around your mission, your message, and your motivation. And then how to create an evening routine is practice number 6, that is peaceful and personal and purposeful. And here is what I will tell you. If you decide before tonight, you have to decide tonight that you would like to take Create. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., I'm going to have a coffee chat, and it's going to have, you're going to be invited to this coffee chat with all the people who have already signed up for Create. You're going to get to know them, talk with them. We're going to be face-to-face on Zoom. I'm going to kind of answer some questions, kind of just prepare you a little bit for what's going to happen inside the course. And that's going to be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So you need to sign up tonight so that I can send you that Zoom link so you can be there in the morning. And the coffee chat will be recorded in the course. But if you're really looking for community, having that community to start off with at the coffee chat will be one way to kind of get connected in there. Susie, I see your questions, so I'm going to get down to the bottom of the page here, and then I will answer that question for you, but I do see it. I do have 3 different bonuses for you. You are going to get access to all of the future Create courses at a discount. I put that it's over $400 each round. That'll just kind of like all depend on which options and all of, so it's really way more than that. For the past couple of times that I've done Create twice already, the alumni have been able to take the course at a big discount to be able to come back again. And you let me know if you're a Create alumni and you're planning on taking it again, because I know a lot of you are already in there and they can tell you why they're coming back. The second bonus is something that I mentioned before. You will get an invitation to the Create retreat that I'm already starting to plan for next May. It will be on Anna Maria Island. There will be more spaces than there were last time, and you will get an invitation at the end of creating at the end of Create. So Cheryl says that she's already in. Tony's taking it again. And then something I'm adding this time that we've never done is a book study through the 5 a.m. club. And as soon as you get into the course and during the first week, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But we're going to be going through that book together because, again, it's that AM routine that's so important that I'm really adding new things to that one. I've also created a VIP experience because one of the things that a lot of people tell me has made the most difference to them is when we get inside of a Zoom. And so this is you can't see my little my mouse there. But when we get inside of a Zoom, that's where they tell me is the most benefit that they get, the most value. So for the VIP experience, I'm adding 3 additional question and answer Zooms during those implementation weeks because the course is laid out so that there is a practice number 1, practice number 2, and then there's an implementation week to give you time in case life happens, you can't go through the content, and you just need time to catch up. So it's during those weeks that I'm going to add an extra Zoom for the people who sign up for VIP so that they can have more questions answered during that implementation week. And for the VIP, you will get all 14 recordings of all of the speakers that were at the Create Retreat. So I just think I put $197 beside here, but I will just tell you the speakers that were at the retreat were incredible. There were 7 of them, and I actually recorded them both times that they went. So you get all 14 of those because a few of the speakers kind of talked a little bit differently. They were just amazing. That right there is probably it's way more valuable than that. And if those people charge for those what they were speaking about, it would probably be a whole lot more than that. So down at the bottom there, I just kind of gave like what you're going to get during the course. You're going to get the content trainings that I have and all the lessons for all 6 different practices. And I know that Tony especially talked about how easy it was to get through that material. One of the questions that probably you may be asking is how much time that would take. And most of the lessons, the videos are probably each week no more than probably not 20 minutes. They're probably not more than about 20 minutes total with all of them. So that's not a lot. It really is the practice. It's not that there's content to apply so much. So it's just the practice of each one of those. So there are challenges, there are things to do, but the time commitment is really just getting into that habit of the routine of practicing that. You're going to get weekly Zooms. So like I said, that is what the value that most people have said gives them just the most benefit of having their questions answered. So we'll get together each week on Zoom as part of each of the practices. You're going to have a recorded tech question answer because if that's one of the things that one of the reasons that you said, you will be able to submit your tech questions and then I will record those. And sometimes those end up being bonuses, just like extra bonuses that I put into the course as people who have questions, need those bonuses. So sometimes those tech things will be separate, but they'll be recorded, the question and answer. I'm going to have resources. They're going to be worksheets. We do a creative challenge in there that I will show you what that has to do with. There are going to be surprises. I already have some bonuses and things in there. You're going to have access to the private Facebook community, which I said there's already 27 ladies in there. And then at the end, we do a fun closing ceremony, and you will get a certificate that I am going to have printed up for you for a certificate of completion of just going through the course. So in the email, you will see the 4 different options. So you have the first option of getting the course, all of the content, all of the videos. You get lifetime access to it, and that is for $597. The course will run through the end of August, so it ends up being a little bit, about 10 to almost 11 weeks for the course. So for 11 weeks in several other coaching programs, I've seen upwards of 3 times that much. So the VIP, if you want to do a one-time payment and get those extra 3 implementation week Zooms and get the recordings of all of the speakers, you can do $697. So the VIP Zooms and the speakers is worth way more than just the extra $100 there. And then if you need to do a payment plan, I did make those options available. So you can do the payment plan for the I'll call it the basic course. And that is $177 4 times. It'll be every 2 weeks that it would be the $177. Or you can do the payment plan for the VIP, which would be $197 for every 2 weeks. And that actually ends up being a little bit better deal to do it that way for the VIP. And, they're a little bit extra to do out the payment plan, but the VIP is actually the better option. And then you can read, like I said, I just keep this like very simple. You can read about like, why would you want to learn from me? I have 3.5 years experience as a creative entrepreneur. I mentioned about my experience as a teacher. I do have a bachelor's and a master's in art education, and I have grown 2 successful memberships. I've had paint parties, so I have experience with that, larger ones up to 50 people. I've grown my business all organically, so the content that I give to you inside of the community is all about growing organically and not paying for anything extra. I'll say it that way. I've lost count, but probably more than 40 times with all kinds of different products, all kinds of services. So I have resources and experience with all of that. And I'm just kind of like an open book. I will tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, don't do this, kind of like I'll tell you all of that. I've coached over 75 people, really, if I count all the people inside of CBOB that I've offered coaching to, answered messages, it's probably way more than that. And just helping them with their businesses over 3.5 years. And then if one of your goals, one of your dreams, if somehow making 6 figures in your business would help you to create a life that you love because of what you could do with that, I do also have experience with that, because in December of 2022, my business, Creations of Studio 39, became a 6-figure business. So for the 6 weeks of Create, which is really 11 or so weeks, I'm going to help you and teach you. I'm going to help you to learn how to create your own kind of success, whatever that looks like for you, so that you can create the life that you love based on whatever it is that you call success. If I can do these things, so can you. Honestly, so can you. My promise is that I'm going to show up, I'm going to serve you, and I just ask for you to promise. There's actually a promise inside of the course where you commit to showing up and doing the work, because you are worth it. Down at the very bottom there, I do have that I will give you a refund if you get into the course and you just kind of see that it's not going to be for you, it's not good timing. I will do a refund in the first 7 days of the course. So I put that down at the bottom there. But that is kind of everything. Very simple. I don't have a whole lot. You won't even need to scroll down that far. The Create course is going to be open to sign up through Friday. So you have to decide before Friday. So keep watching, get on my email list. If you aren't already, you can put email in the comments there, and make sure that you're seeing, because there may be some extra things. There may be some other bonuses that I add throughout the week. You're going to hear from other success stories, and you're going to hear what they liked about Create, what helped them the most inside of Create. And Friday at 11:59 p.m. is when I am going to shut off being able to enroll in the course, because we start on Monday. We start with the content, and there's already the 27 ladies in there. And remember, if you want to sign up for the coffee chat tomorrow, you got to sign up tonight before 11:59 so I can get you the Zoom link to be on there. But the reason that I close down enrolling new people is I switch all of my focus over to prioritizing those students that have chosen option number 3, which is to get the help to move forward so that they're not stuck. And that is basically it. So I will go ahead and take some questions that I know that a few people had those up there. And I will just tell you that it's day 6 of the boot camp, and I didn't tell you a challenge, but there is a challenge for you to make a decision today, to click on the link that's up in the description or the link that's in your email, and to click on that and decide that you want to create a life that you love. And if you do that, post inside of CBOB, or you can be really bold and you can post on your profile, take a selfie when you sign up, how excited you are, and make a post that says, I enrolled because I want to create a life that I love. And use that hashtag create619 or whatever date it is that you sign up during this week, and post about that and be excited about that you chose to make that decision because you are worth it and you want to make that investment in yourself. So I know that there's probably a lot, and let me go through and I will answer. So Noreen said, how long do we have access to the group? So you will have lifetime access. It is on Facebook right now. I am in the process of getting all of the content and everything onto a platform. And if I do that during the Create course, then you would have access to all of that. So you would have lifetime access to that. The Facebook group, usually what I do about 2 weeks after it ends, so it would be like at the middle of September, I archive the group. And that just means that you can't ask any more questions. Like there's an ending because it's a course, and the it's just not ongoing. But you have lifetime access to go into the group and get the content and everything on there, but you just wouldn't be able to ask any additional questions inside the group. So if it was going to continue, I would have to charge a lot more than that, right? So it is a finite amount of time, but you have lifetime access to it, just not lifetime coaching. So there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. So I know Susie asked a question up here, and Cheryl was answering it for her. Susie says, I was just going to ask if I already have to have a business. So I do address this in one of the emails that is going out, that whether you're beginning, whether you're an entrepreneur, intermediate, I don't know, whether you've had your business for a while, or Susie says she doesn't even have a business. I'm going to read Cheryl's here because I'm pretty sure I know what she's going to put. Is her 2 cents. This is going to help you to get unstuck in your life. And that's what I was going to say too. If you feel like you're stuck, you're in a rut, and you need an infusion. I love that word, Cheryl. You need an infusion of energy and imagination. It really is, people have said, the 6 different practices that you need so that you don't feel stuck, so that you feel appreciation, so that you feel gratitude, so that you feel fulfillment in whatever you do. And you have the tools, because that's what these practices are. They're tools to be able to use so that you aren't stuck. So even though you don't have a business, I would actually, there is someone, and I'm not going to call her out if she wants to put it in the comments because I think she's still on here. There is actually somebody who, when she is in my membership, I think she's in 2 of my memberships, both of my memberships. She took my course. She came to the retreat. She's taking the course again. And I do believe she does not have an official business name that is registered, because to me that, you're official if you have it like registered with your state. So she may still be on here. I'm not going to call her out, but I do believe that there's somebody who has went through all of that, and she technically does not have a business. She's done business things, but technically she doesn't have one. So Tony says, yeah, it would be perfect before you had a business. So if you have an idea of having a business, it would be perfect before, because that was what I was seeing in some of the coaching groups that I was in, and some of the challenges, some of the court, all of those. I was seeing that there were people who felt stuck. They didn't know how to make a decision. They felt like they needed to come in, and they didn't know how to find resources. They just felt like they were stuck. And Tony was talking about it helps to have a balanced, and I would even say a life of appreciation, a life of enjoyment. Like if you feel like you're just kind of like running on empty and there's not much enjoyment going on, you're not having fun. Like what is life if you're not having fun and you're not laughing and enjoying the things even in your business? I have stopped a video that I was doing live because I wasn't having fun. It was no longer fun. It was a very detailed painting, and I was not having fun because it wasn't coming out the way that I want. I just was not having fun. So I will answer any other questions. If you think of some and you come back to this video, you can put them in here, and I will keep checking this throughout the week, and you can ask any questions about Create. I would love to see you join today so that I can see you on the Coffee Chat Zoom tomorrow. So Edith, she says, this is tremendously helpful in getting me started. And she is I wasn't going to call her out. I have a video that I was doing a great learning experience. Yes. So, oh yeah, Susie, there's no requirement that you have to have a business. Yeah. No, I didn't want to make it sound that way at all. So Tony said that it has helped in her private life in huge ways. So I actually get to see Tony on Thursday, and I'm not going to say too much about it because I will probably get like all choked up because I'm really excited about seeing her in Texas. So on Thursday and Friday, I will be in Texas. If you have any questions for me, I will answer questions on Facebook in Messenger in my personal. I don't flip over to my business Messenger as often. So if you want to reach out to me on my personal Facebook and ask me questions, I will be available today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. But on Thursday, I'm flying to Texas. We're going to my niece's wedding. We will not be back until Sunday. So that is after the cart closes to enroll in Create. So if you have any questions, make sure that you get those to me before then. So I have a question for you right now. You know, with all the things that I've presented, that the 6 foundational practices work. You've heard from the success stories. You have seen the things that I've talked about. You went through the page with me. And if your heart is kind of beating fast right now, that might mean that you need to make a decision. You might need to choose option number 3 so that you can get the things that you need, learn the practices that will help you to be able to create that life that you love. And I would be so excited, so honored to be able to help you do that inside of Create. So you can look for the email if you're on my email list, or you can go back up to the top of this video in the description, and the link will be right there. I hope I see you inside Create.